Hello, my beautiful light brights. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Neon Noire, at Miss Neon Noire on all social platforms. I'm a half Italian, half Canadian drag queen living in Belgium, and today we are playing my favorite game, FAB or Drab, where we rate the looks of Drag Race Italia Season 3, Episode 4, and let you know if they're fabulous or just drab and awful. So without further ado, let's get into it right now. Yeah! This week, the queens had to do something a little bit different. They had to create looks in the workroom inspired by mystery boxes by famous supermodels. Now, before we get into the looks, let me just talk about the challenge. I don't like this challenge. I am fine with having a sewing challenge. I think that shows interest and creativity. The problem I have is that the mystery boxes were all red, so it was hard to have a real difference between the individual queens, so the theme really becomes red, not mystery boxes. And the other thing that I don't like is that some people had better accessories and fabrics than others. And spoiler alert, you're gonna get to see some of that in the critiques. So I think it was a little bit unfair. On top of it, some people are better sewers than others. And so I find that these are not fair challenges. I really wish that they would have done it more as a ball where they could show a look that they brought from home and show a look that they created in the workroom. So you can really see the spectrum of what this queen has to offer. There are some queens that make all their own clothes and there's some that don't. On top of it, if you make a garment in 24, 48 hours, it's not gonna be as fabulous as some of your other garments. And honey, we are here for the fashion. We want to see the best garment. And so it is a little bit challenging. But the bright side is that comparative to other seasons of Drag Race, I will say that Drag Race Italia queens, they know how to sew. They know how to turn it up. So I was actually pleasantly surprised by the sheer quality of these looks. So enough about that. Let's just get into it and let's talk about them one by one. So first up, we have Morgana Cosmica. And Morgana is coming out in this glitter bodysuit with these feathers, glitter gloves, and this chain of balls hanging around her waist. It sounds stupid, but it's the truth. The one thing I will say about Morgana is that she looks good. She did luck out a little bit with the fabric because she's got this beautiful glistering fabric that looks great on the stage. But she committed to the look and she even put a little bow in her hair. She definitely has these balls hanging from her waist, which overall makes this whole outfit feel a little Christmassy to me, which is or isn't a bad thing depending on how much you love Christmas. I think that the balls definitely brought down the look because the rest looks so neat and expensive. But she was trying something and she gave us some sort of skirt. I bet you if she didn't do anything, they would have said that she's only got half a body, but to each their own. Now, the judges this week said that this garment is reminiscent to the garment that she gave us last week, which now that they said it, I see it. But here's my thing. You are making a garment in the workroom live. There's only so many silhouettes. There's only so many garments you actually know how to make, if you even know how to make it. So the fact that she got it to look this good is already a plus for me. And I don't care that for this challenge, she's repeating an outfit. If it was a different challenge, I might have had an issue with it. But a sewing challenge, do what you can do, girl. And she looked great doing it. So for Morgana, I'm definitely going to have to give her a FAB. Next up, we have Silvana della Magliana. And she said she's giving us haute couture. Honey, this is not haute couture. I would describe this look as Lady Bunny-esque. She's giving us the big hair. She's giving us the camp costume. It's a little bit over the top. It's a little bit of a character. And this is kind of what we kind of expect from Silvana. This sort of not quite there, but there sort of thing. She said she doesn't know how to sew and she was struggling in this challenge. For all the challenges she had, she definitely turned it up. Is it haute couture? No. Is it good? Probably also no. I love that she's giving you this ant vibe. I love that she's bringing you somewhere, but it's not fashion, it's not great, and her lack of sewing skills show here. But you know what? I say that, although when she had somebody making her costumes, it was still a little bit of the same. So, for Silvana della Magliana, it is yet again, for another week, gonna be a drab. Sorry, baby. Next up, we have Sissy Lea. And Sissy Lea is coming out in this rock and roll cat suit. It's got a lot of texture in it. It looks like a pleather leather sort of material, which is generally harder to work with. She's also got this big flowing cape to give you that drama, and she decided to pair it with black hair and a black shoe. Honestly, she looks good. I do like the fact that she went with a black hair. It makes a little bit of contrast and gives you that rock and roll vibe, and also makes me forgive her black shoe because then there is some sort of connection to it. I would have preferred a taller boot just to push up that rock and roll vibe. Her makeup is quite cool. It's definitely playing up the character that she wants to be giving, and she's being extra seductive with her little cherries, which I think is a fun little gimmicky touch on the runway. The one thing that I don't understand is actually the necklace. I feel that the necklace is too glam for what this runway is. I think a choker would have just been better, just to, you know, punk it up a little bit. But other than that, she looks great. And for Sissy Lea, I'm gonna have to go with a FAB. Next up, we have Lina Galore. So Lina Galore said that she's giving us 50s Dior vibe. I personally didn't get that. I do see the 50s silhouette, but to me, it was more like Minnie Mouse with the big sort of poodle skirt and the bow in her hair. And I say Minnie Mouse, not to be shady. It's got that vibe, and I think it's quite original, to be honest. Everything looks very interesting. She's got a lot of details with the bust line and the different planes of fabric. She's got the poodle skirt to give her more of a shape. I feel like her signature mug doesn't necessarily go with this outfit, but it is her signature mug, so I'm not really gonna critique it at all because it makes you know it is her. When she gets to the end of the runway, she turns this little pillow to reveal her message, and I love this. This is a queen that's obviously thinking of all the details, and it's for that reason that for Lina, even though it was not 100% my favorite, I think it was very good, and I'm gonna have to give her a FAB. Next up, we have Sypario, and Sypario is giving her typical theater, big gown, flowy dress vibes. This is where I feel like the challenge is unfair. Sypario's drag is generally over the top, big theater, and she's not a tiny woman. Sypario is slightly larger, so I feel like a challenge like this is not suited for Sypario. Sypario does look fine, but it's not what I've come to expect. I'm coming to expect all the details, all of the construction, and you can see that it started, but they just didn't have enough time to really create it the way it should be. It feels like it's a halfway done outfit. I feel like it's getting close and where I would want it to go. Sypario also pairs it with this wig, which is filled with jewels and quite beautiful, and I love the wig, and I get it with this outfit. I actually wish she would have worn the exact same wig last week where she wore no wig. This would have been just perfect. But overall for Sypario, unfortunately for me, it just feels unfinished, and because of that, I have to go with a drab. Next up, we have Sheeva, and Sheeva is giving you this asymmetrical gown with cranberries and glitter. Because of the cranberries, it is feeling a little bit Christmas, and again, that is not a bad thing. I do like that she's playing with this asymmetrical look. It's giving us fashion, but it's also being able to see her body. I actually wish that her side hip on the one side was actually removed, or the slit went just a little bit higher, just so we can get it. She's paired it with this blonde pussycat wig and these cranberry headpiece, and really she is giving you a vibe, a look. She does look like a supermodel, one of the few this week that actually followed the theme, but to be fair, it was a stupid theme, so we're not going to judge the other ones on this. So overall, Sheeva looks great. You can see that she really thought about it, and she knows what she's doing around a sewing machine, and she came up with an original look. And for that reason, for Sheeva, it's going to be a FAB. Next up, we have Lightning Aurora, and Lightning Aurora is giving us Little Red Riding Hood princess fantasy. We've discovered that this is Lightning's drag. She is that fairy princess, and she's definitely giving you that look. She's giving you that bodice with the flowy skirts, the big poofy sleeves that are a little bit costumey, a little bit of that Disney princess. The overall outfit is actually quite simple. To me, if I look at it, it looks like she took an existing structure and glued fabric onto it and then gave her a flowy skirt, but it looks decent. And this is where, if you know your drag, you can kind of get away with your little sneaky tricks. On top of it, she was really smart. She realized that her outfit was simple, so she needed to do more. She created this headpiece. She wore her best hair with some glitters in it. She wore all of her glitter jewelry, her rings, her earrings, her necklace, and she paired it with a little red shoe. She was lucky she had all of her accessories because it made that princess fantasy really come to life. So even though it is a simple outfit and not necessarily my favorite, I think she did just enough to get by. And for that reason, for Lightning Aurora, I'll have to go with a FAB. It might be a soft FAB, but it's still a FAB. Next up, we have Melissa Bianchini, and she is giving you Spanish soap opera drama mama. She's got all of the roses, she's got the hat, she's got the play of different textures and fabrics, and she's giving you her over-the-top fantasy. Melissa always does everything a little bit dramatic, a little bit extra, a little bit over the top, but the thing is, she looks good doing it because she knows how to edit and where to place them. I think she also got lucky with her fabric that she's got the color, where she's got this print fabric and she's got this solid fabric, and her eye knows how to work with them. The dress itself is very elegant. She's got the pointy shoulders to give you the drama. She's got the piece in the middle that gives you a little bit of that edgy sort of strap vibe. She's playing with the textures. She's got roses stuck here and there. She's selling the garment as this telenovela fantasy, maybe a little Carmen Sandiego, and she looks good doing it. The one thing I would change is the hat. I like the idea of a hat, but you can see where she ties it under her neck. I wish it was actually tied behind her and it would look like it was floating, and I wish the hat was like 3 times bigger to really give you that fantasy moment. But overall, these are details. And so for Melissa Bianchini, I'm gonna have to go with a FAB. Next up, we have La Prada. And La Prada is giving you this mixture between a little bit of a doll meets the 70s. She got her hair tied up in a big bun with a ribbon in it that's really giving you that 70s beach vibe. She got little hearts on her cheeks and this silhouette that gives you a little bit toy doll, and she's holding an umbrella. For La Prada, it's all over the place, honey. There's not like a singular vision. It really feels like she's created each pieces individually and tried to pair them together based on what she knows how to make, because it doesn't have a clear vision. The bodice is in one material, which feels a little bit quinceañera, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just more like if she was going for quinceañera, go for quinceañera. Then she's got this umbrella that's giving us a little bit of like Asia, but it looks so tiny comparative to her body. So if she did want to go in this direction, I think that the umbrella needed to be 3 times bigger. And then the hair doesn't go with the body. Overall, it's, like I said, it feels really all over the place. I don't understand her vision. Personally, I think she should have streamlined. Lost the umbrella altogether because you're not able to make one big enough, right, in the workroom. Maybe added a lot more sort of jewels and things to the outfit and push this sort of quinceañera vibe, and did something different in her hair. Maybe a little tiara again to give that birthday girl vibe. I think that would have helped bring this into a clearer direction. So for La Prada, for another week, yet again, I'm gonna have to go with a Drab. And last on the runway, we have Leila Yarn. And Leila Yarn is giving us punk fantasy. She's got a bunch of patchwork, a lot of frills. She's playing with that plaid fabric, which I thought was good. She's got chains hanging from her. She definitely has a clear vision of where she wants to go. The only thing is did she get there? I don't know. There's a few things I would definitely change. I think the outfit in itself is fine. It's neither great nor horrible. So I think for this runway, if that's what she knows how to make, I'm gonna go with good job. I couldn't make it. I think some of the accessories and the makeup might have been a little bit differently. If she's saying that she's punk rock, I wish she would have went a little bit darker with her makeup. Instead of going red, going more black to really hang that up. Her hair, she went with bleach blonde. I think black screams more rock and roll than blonde does. Or, you know what would be even perfect, even if she wanted to go blonde, is this sort of like mohawk vibe. I think that would have really taken it to the next level. Now, I will say she's definitely probably pushing herself out of the box, and she maybe just doesn't have these accessories available to her because the accessories are all from your own wardrobe, and she's not a punk rock queen. So she's making do with what she has. It's not 100% there, but it's close. But I understand her vision. I understand her direction. I got the message without her having to explain it to me. Call me biased. I do like this queen, but I'm gonna have to go with a soft FAB. So that is it for this week's runway theme. But more importantly, who had my drab of the week? Well, I'm gonna have to give it to La Prada. I know what you're saying. You're saying, how did I give it to La Prada and not Silvana? Well, the thing is, Silvana, although I didn't really appreciate it and it looked kind of messy, she had a vision. She gave me this Lady Bunny sort of vibe and I understood it. While La Prada was just middle of the road and it feels like a lot of indecisions were made and decisions based on capabilities, not based on actual vision. So for that reason, La Prada got my worst drab of the week. But let's not dwell on the negative. Let's go to the positive. Who had my fabulous fab of the week? Well, that has to go to La Sheeva. That's right, La Sheeva really turned it out. She gave us a vision. I understood it from head to toe. I was debating to go with Melissa because I really loved Melissa's, but Melissa's won a couple in a row in my opinion. So for this week, it's definitely La Sheeva. And that is it for this week's episode of Drag Race Italia. Do you agree with my opinions or disagree maybe? Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. I read every single one of the comments. And while there, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of this series, so it would really, really mean a lot to me. On that note, my name is Neon Noire and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.